It's been that blue dot which has not really allowed Sri Lanka to travel smoothly. Couple of wickets down, 4.65. The bowling has been accurate. Short. That look at that fielding. We're talking about the support given. That was a hit me ball. The fielder did very well.
And that can be confidence booster for the bowlers if they know they'll be supported by the fielders. When they bowl an ordinary delivery, they can get their focus back and they can start bowling with a big heart.
Well, that kind of fielding helps Ruskin to maintain that best economy rate. I was mentioning a short while earlier how good he has been. When he doesn't take the wickets, he dries out the runs. Look at it. Since 1st January 2023, minimum of 150 over, Taskin Ahmed leads the pack with 4.87, 46 wickets to boot. Got big names there, Matt Henry, Kagiso Rabara, Josh Hazelwood, Mohammad Siraj. But he is enjoying that economy spell.
Yeah, he's a luxury to have in your lineup. Not only economical, but threatening too. He had that ability, especially in shorter format, to keep the batsman quieter and then send them back.
And he's bowling within himself. You can see 134, 131. Those are the speeds. He can generate pace, but he assesses the requirement of the wicket. The heat here, it's really muggy.
He got the smarts now.
Sure has. You've got to be smart. Once again, back of a length does not really allow the batter to either go forward or go deep into his crease. And with this kind of pace, it's not going to be easy to try and take him on. Containment here, done brilliantly by Taskin Ahmed.
You know, in yesteryears, if you compare the Taskin of now and of yesteryears, he was not committed to every delivery. At times he used to go through the motions, but now he commits himself fully. Now where he's going to land the ball, to which batsman? He wasn't in control, looked like pick inside edge, good enough to take the ball over the boundary line.
Well, some relief for the Sri Lankan supporters, but as you said, not the most convincing. Was just inside part of the bat, but he put it away in an area where it was difficult for the fielders to get to it, and thus the boundary.
You think he was intending to hit the ball there?
No, not at all. Intending to hit it much more forward of square. The inside part, but lucky runs, and they'll take it, Sri Lanka. Good comeback delivery to finish the over. 84 for 2.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই, আপনাদের জন্য নিয়ে আসলাম বিশ্বস্ত বেটিং ওয়েবসাইট bazicash.com। আপনি এখানে বিকাশ, নগদ, রকেট থেকে নিজে ডিপোজিট এবং নিজে উইথড্র করতে পারবেন সর্বোচ্চ 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে। তাই অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে চাইলে আর দেরি না করে স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার অথবা কমেন্ট বক্সে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ লিংক দেওয়া আছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন। এবং যে সকল ভাইরা অ্যাপ্লিয়েন্ট আইডি নিয়ে কাজ করতে আগ্রহী আছেন, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন।
Bangladeshi bowlers have done well in the heat, restraining the Sri Lankan batters, and as anticipated, they changed the bowling. The skipper comes on. He bowled wonderfully well in the previous game. 111 wickets, just a 4 for 25.
Yeah, he picked up a wicket in the last game after 5 matches. But he's been bowling very well consistently. The first delivery went into the gap. Once again, Good fielding at the boundary line. It was Shamim Patwari.
Was 1 for 37 in the previous game, and that was Lusner to start off with. Short was onto it in a flash that circled round. Again, bit of a doubt for the second run. Eventually the ball arrives. There's a good take. Once again, the fielding, the commitment shown by Bangladesh has been of high quality. That's the way to come back after you lose first ball.
That was clever bowling. The length was the same, trajectory was the same, but line slightly towards off stump and also angling the ball away from the right-hander. That's too easy.
Yes, too straight. That's a line he wants to avoid. Basically, need to bowl it outside the line of the off stump, get it to turn in. Not that we've seen too much evidence of purchase of the wicket. Essentially, got to make sure the batter is not given the freedom to either come inside out or go onto the off stump and sweep the ball. And with the left-right combination, they'll have to just come around, change of angles. Yeah, no turn, and it's that arm ball heading straight in. That might be a dilemma for the batters, wondering when is it going to start dripping. Into the 19th over, ball hasn't really done anything off the track in terms of turn. Keeps on bowling them straight. Keeps on allowing the singles to be taken.
Now, if you don't allow batters to score more than 5 runs, temporary ODI cricket, as a bowler, you're doing a fine job. Or wide, been called by the umpire.
Kusal Mendes, you're talking about the players drying out the runs, the bowlers. Last 25 balls, or 26 now. Just the 14 runs. He started off with a bang. He's hitting the balls to all parts of the ground. Pressure must be building. It's to be seen how he rides that pressure out and absorbs that pressure. 90 for 2. Bangladeshi bowlers have not really allowed the Sri Lankan batters to take advantage. No big tall buildings so far. They'll be pretty content because it is a pitch which is a little bit tilted towards the batters. Eases into that one, but just quickly enough, that extra cover stops that ball from going through. He hasn't hit a boundary for quite a while now. Must be just inside. He must be brewing that I've got to go big one of these deliveries.
Yeah, the bowler has to sense that. The frustration is creeping in. The mind of the batter. Do not try and overdo things. Keep it simple. Keep on landing the ball in the right areas. That was a gift. That was a gift. He was looking for that lane and got that and was ready for it.
And the smile breaks out. Smile of relief for Kusal Mendes. Boundary after 27 balls that he's faced, but it was there to be hit. It's simple. It's pitched up right through the line, easy as they come.
Yeah, it was aforementioned. You don't have to over try as a bowler. Just keep on landing the ball in the right areas, back of the length. That's where he faltered. Increase the length, and Kusal Mendes is too good a batsman to miss out on those ones.
Nice comeback. It's just that little bit, just 6 inches shorter than the previous one, does the job. There you see, he's touch shorter, gets him on the front foot, tries his best. Umpire takes evasive action, but there is cover. Sensible cricket. You're talking about the change in the manner in which Taskin Ahmed bowls in the recent past. Maturity, understandably, and the realization that he's got to bowl within himself because of injury concerns.
Yeah, decrease in length, about 6 inches or increase, makes a huge difference.
And that was shorter. That was there for the taking. Once again, not quite timing that to a nicety, but it was there to be hit. So a little tardy in this over from Taskin Ahmed.
Yeah, the idea was good from Taskin. He's been pitching the ball back of the length. Batsmen were anticipating the ball there. Tried to surprise the batter with a bouncer, but did not rear up. Now deciding to bowl round the stumps to the left-hander, Taskin.
Ice creams and lots of water. That's what you need on a hot, muggy day like this. Comes around. Keeps it quiet with this Kamindu on strike. Sea is soaking wet. It's a quiet, slow walk back to the top of the bowling ground, conserving energy.
Drenched in sweat. Taskin. They change the shirt.
A grunt for a good delivery. 95 for 2. Well, he's into his swings and rhythms. Such a lovely ground, the Pallakale International Stadium. In the distance, the hills, mountains around. The PA system blaring out the music.
It is just a number. But to have a young heart, enjoy life.
Absolutely.
You do too. You like to team up with life, Shameen?
Short. Now, this is going to go along the ground to deep back to square, just for the single. Opportunity, I think, for the batter. Maybe played a little squarer into the gap to take more runs.
It's surprising for me, batsman brought up on such surfaces doesn't play that sweep, conventional sweep. He does employ that slot sweep, Kusal Mendes, but not the conventional one. That's a good one from Kamindu Mendes. 100 of the ball with that boundary.
Yeah, that was always going to be punished. Just short enough from Miraj, giving him ample opportunity to drop back. He's happy with that boundary. There you see just that shortness of the length, rocking back and placing it wide of the fielder. No chance there. Very nicely struck.
Yeah, but using his feet, he has created that fear in the minds of the bowler. Hence, they are looking to dart the ball in. The pace was up on that occasion. Better delivery. Slightly slower.
But Sri Lankans, what they've done very well, there have been periods of play when they've been dot balls piling up, but once in a while they've just released the pressure with boundaries. Not similar to the last one day when they got completely bogged down.
They're only human, Shamin. They're a hard taskmaster.
I'm just giving them credit, my friend. They're doing well. They just...
No, there was a hint of complaint, which was spotted.
You would. Once again. But the boundary has been there in the over, so they can afford to take it easy.
Boy, number 3, boy.
He is softened up, Shamim. Oh, close, given. Well-directed delivery, kept low, didn't get up to the batsman's liking, and he perishes.
Wow, that was a quick delivery. I don't think he's going to bother to take the review. The big strike. Bangladesh really doing well. He's not too happy, but exactly at 100, this is what happened. Kept on, kept a tad low, played over, and it was pretty much in front. No problem for the umpire. Up went the dreaded finger, and Miraj gets that wicket. It's Kamindu Mendes who has to take the long walk back. 16 he's got, and Sri Lanka 100 for 3.
Timely blow. That's what Bangladesh have been able to do this game. Srilanka is the new batter. Danit Lienage will follow him, and then it's Dunit Velalage. Got the right approach as an opposition. Good batting conditions. It'll stay like that right throughout the game, that's for sure. Therefore, you got to keep attacking. This was quicker. Much quicker than the previous deliveries, and Kamindu Mendes' somewhat indifferent form in ODIs continue. Just not able to match the high standards and numbers that he's achieved in Test cricket. Miraj strikes. Fast bowlers from one end, the spin from the other. Tanzim Hassan Saqib picked up the wicket of Nishan Madushka. He's back in for his second spell. Now this is a partnership that Bangladesh would want to break very quickly, Fariz.
Just before I come to that, coming to Mendes after scoring a bound in the second delivery, 3 dot deliveries and then the last ball wicket. I think this is the message to the players to come. Once you score a boundary, try and get a single, rotate the strike rather than getting bogged down in an end. That's where the Mendes was leading up to the game when it comes to average. Not the greatest batting at number 4. Missed a golden opportunity. And I think, answering your question, Russell, it's a massive partnership. Former captain, Charith Asalanga, the present captain. These two players have been the mainstays in the ODI side. Kusal Mendes is batting really well. Charith Asalanga, we all know what he can do on his day. I like to see the Bangladesh perspective. Try and get a slip fielder in place. Open up the mid-wicket. Get a slip or a gully. And get Tanzim Hassan Saqib to bowl that 4th off-stump line and try and attack him. Not straight, just outside the off-stump.
On his way. That's easy pickings. They've been good though. Just bowling in short spells and making it hard for the Sri Lankans. Just chipping away. That's what you can say that Bangladesh have been doing.
In 21.3 overs which Sri Lanka has batted so far, 75 dot deliveries. 12.3 overs of dot deliveries, and still Sri Lanka has managed to score at 4.74.
Oh dear, this could be tight. Clumsy all round. Sri Lanka get the single they were looking for.
It was Kushal's call. The ball went to mid-on in front. It's as usually the striker's call. Charita Salang for some reason wasn't comfortable. Go for the single, said away, no. Visible in the end, and the wicketkeeper Jakarali got into an awkward position. His throw wasn't at first bounce, which Jakarali thought is going to be.
Pitched on the edge of the turf and skids off hard for Jakarali.
Yes, at the moment, Mahendra and Miraj attacking Charita Salang with 5 in the offside, 4 in the next side. Early on, Charita Salang against fast bowlers. Can he be a bit vulnerable just outside the off stump? Probably missing a trick, especially in Pallakele pitch. Usually gives you as a fast bowler some awkward bounce on a good length, some movement if it's available. That's those lines for me are too straight for a new batter. 103 for 3.
Kusal Mendy's on 48. Correction, 49. Sri Lanka been dominant at home for quite a while, and that's why this game is a pressure match. Could feel the nerves with Bangladesh clawing themselves back into the series. Bangladesh have won only 3 games in Sri Lanka. In 26 games here in Pallakele. 2 previous games, 1 each. But in terms of series at home in the last 5 years, Sri Lanka have won 10 out of 12. The only loss being against India in 2021. Clever. That's playing the field really, really well.
Playing the field well, Charita Salang. There was only field outside the circle in the leg side. That was deep square, like in front of square. Yeah, it was slightly risky straighter, but the ball was turning away. In the end, it's a safe shot. Up at the RP Madas in the 2nd ODI, almost a similar field. Charita Salang against Mahendra and Miraj, who had mid-on in the circle. Played with the ego of the batter. Usually Charita Salang, when it's full, loves to go over mid-wicket, loves to go over long on. He was challenged in the previous game. In the end, he held out to mid-on, and similarly today, Mahendra and Miraj has got the mid-on in the circle. That's, I think it's going to be Taskin Ahmed, the tallest in the field. Horses for courses. I like the way Mahendra and Miraj thinks.
That's bouncing. But Sri Lanka looking for that single. The ball, for me, it's holding just a wee bit and bouncing. It's not on the slower side, but it's Not one of those pitches that's skidding through. Tennis ball bounce, fair to say?
Yeah, Sanjeev Gamage will be out there for a concussion test on Charita Srilanka as this hits the arm and hits the throat or the visor. The last game we were talking about at the Premadasa, mid on in the circle, got the length delivery of Shamim Hossain and straight to Tanvir Islam. Most teams against Charita Sri Lanka who likes it over mid-wicket long on, have it behind Petrol in the boundary, not with Medias and Mirage. And similar field settings. Sanjeev Gamage will be doing a couple of tests. It should be okay. It wasn't that hard. The ball hit his grill or the throat. This is a big innings for Charita Sri Lanka. Being a captain, never lost to Bangladesh at home a series.
Looking at Sri Lanka's approach in the previous two ODIs to this, slightly cautious, I would think. Waiting for the loose balls. But what we wait for in Sri Lanka is these beautiful pictures in various parts of the island. 1 hour drive, you get to experience very different terrains. Sri Lanka's all right, we're good to go. Over number 11 to 40, only 4 fielders, a maximum of 4 loved outside the circle, and Bangladesh have those 4 at a very fine square leg. Mid wicket, the point on the boundary and long off. Nicely bowled.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই, আপনাদের জন্য নিয়ে আসলাম বিশ্বস্ত বেটিং ওয়েবসাইট pajicash.com। আপনি এখানে বিকাশ, নগদ, রকেট থেকে নিজে ডিপোজিট এবং নিজে উইথড্র করতে পারবেন সর্বোচ্চ 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে। তাই অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে চাইলে আর দেরি না করে স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার অথবা কমেন্ট বক্সে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ লিঙ্ক দেওয়া আছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন। এবং যে সকল ভাইরা অ্যাপ্লিয়েন্ট আইডি নিয়ে কাজ করতে আগ্রহী আছেন, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন।
Nothing too big, but pretty consistent, those towers. Tanzim for his second over this spell. That will be 50. Kusal Mendes. A very different knock to the previous day, previous game, where he got his 50 off 20 balls. Here he takes 58 deliveries. That's quick as well. 7 fours. His 35th 50 in ODIs and his 6th against Bangladesh. But he's got to make sure he cannot throw it away like a couple of days ago.
Timely knock, responsible knock. Just the start. He knows the job is not done yet. Seeing the ball really well is important. That he partners Charita Sri Lanka. Starting to do good. Good batting. Good batting. Should be a couple of runs here with the ricochet.
They'll get the extra run. Good bit of fielding. But it comes back to hurt them. And Shanto forces the umpire to have a look. You never know how close these can be. But there's no real excitement from the fielders square of the wicket. The bowlers, the fielders, they're all...
Run out review for run out at the batting end. The bat is grounded before the bails are off. I'm ready to make my decision for a big screen.
Now that was a pretty easy decision. No wonder, no excitement at all. Everyone's ready to go. The crowd building. Nice cool breeze. That will be good to have. Oh, beauty. That was a beauty. I think that jagged away ever so slightly.
Base in the fielder at mid-wicket. Enough movement to keep the bowler interested. Zipped away from the left-hander, squared him up. Beautiful length, good pace at 134.7 by Tanzim. Right throughout the series, the aggression is top-notch. Hannibal, fourth umpire, just keeping a close eye on the proceedings.
Gets the edge. Bowling well. He really is. I don't think they're watching the cricket. They're zooming in on something else, I would think. Probably the hills.
There's never a dull moment when Lyndon Hannibal is in the house, is it? Tanzim Hassan Shakib, just on him, I think it's been very impressive. Because of the aggression this Bangladesh side needs in the middle overs as well as in the death. He provides it. This is a good shot. Picks up the length pretty early. And a four-player like Kusal Mendes who picks up the length pretty early. That becomes almost a freebie when you have square leg behind square, no one in front of square.
Doesn't try to hit too hard. It's all about finding the gap. Wasn't easy because he got cramped for space as the ball was angled into him. But a timely boundary.
Yeah, picked up the length early. Spoke about his hawk package in the previous stint. Anything shot into his body, he just loves it, especially when he's in good form.
Eight off that over, 116 for 3.
হ্যালো আসসালামু আলাইকুম বাংলাদেশি ভাই এবং প্রবাসী ভাইরা যে যেখানেই থাকুন না কেন আমাদের 9 উইকেট সাইডটি পৃথিবীর সব জায়গা থেকেই খেলতে পারবেন। এখানে আপনারা ক্রিকেটের ব্যাটিং ধরতে পারবেন এবং আপনারা এখানে ডিপোজিট এবং উইথড্র মাত্র 2 মিনিটেই ক্লিয়ার পাবেন। সুতরাং বিস্তারিত জানতে এবং বেট অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে আপনারা আমাদের স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া নাম্বার, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার এবং পিন কমেন্টে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারে যোগাযোগ করুন।
Making sure they're holding wickets and accumulating runs. Kusal Mendes is leading the charge for the moment. Giving Srilanka some time to play himself in. He's been brilliant, Srilanka, of late. In a slight hold up. Medias and Miraj will continue. But the big wicket of Kamilu Mendes.
Kusal from the word go. First ball, put it away towards square leg. Ever since then, he's looked so controlled. Very powerful, anything short, awful. Top of his game. Picking up length early, loving the pace off the pitch. His love story, batting at Pallakale, continues. Into the 25th over. So 5 bowlers used. Does have the option of Shamim Hussain, who bowled well in the last game. I thought in the middle overs he made sure that the breaks were put in. 9 overs, 1 for 22. The second ODI. So that's an option since a left hand is in the middle for Medias and Miraj to bring Shamim Hussain maybe once Tanzim Hassan Shakib is finishing with his spell.
That is a wonderful shot. I think Mendes with the 3 in the deep on the leg side and not much turn for Mehdi. Trying to give himself room, trying to pick the gap on that offside. I think for the first time I saw a bit of grip there. You can look at shots like this all day long. Everything is Maha around here. The Mahaveli River, the Mahayava, and then there's Maharoof. Yava and Maharoof there as well.
You forgot Mahanur, the real name.
That's outside the line. Good early call from Mendes and hence not a problem in getting across.
Slight appeal in the non-striker's end. The ball hit Charith Asalanga probably in his back or the bat and hit the stumps. Yes, the bowler was appealing for the LBW. Field at short, fine leg, free the balls to the non-striker. Hit Charith Asalanga and somehow the ball ended up in the stumps. There's the LBW shot outside the line. Charith Asalanga crossing for the single, hits him probably in the hamstring and ricochets to the stumps. How unlucky that would have been if it was run out.
Brilliant.
Well in. 4 singles. Of the 25th over, Sri Lanka won 20 for 3. Batting to come. That's Janit Lienagest. Fought really hard to try to get Sri Lanka over the line. The second ODI, but fell short. Velalage, Hasaranga, Theekshana, the 3 spinners, the main spinners in the Sri Lankan team. Mantha Chamira and Asitha Fernando, the 2 seamers. Charith Asalanga at the toss said 280. He'd like that score to defend. Mustafizur Rahman back for his second spell. A very good first spell. Your thoughts on that, Mark?
Bowled well. Came round the wicket straight away to the right-handers. Pathum and Kusal Mendis cut down the angle outside the off stump. Bowled wicket to wicket on the back of the limb. Used all experience, Mustafiz. Since 2015, it comes to the most wicket by fast bowlers. The 2 players of the subcontinent of the Asia in this top 5. 1, Mustafiz. Second is Jasprit Bumrah. 175 wickets for Mustafizur Rahman. Shows the dominance with the ball, especially in the depth as well as in the middle overs, bowling those cutters into the pitch.
The thoughts on the score, Maha?
I reckon 280. One of these players got to bat out till about the 45th over. There are a couple of things that Pinkton may do just to change things up if they feel things aren't going according to the plan. Still to come, Janit Lienagest, Velalage, as well as Manidu Hasaranga. That's batting deep into the lineup of Sri Lanka. But Janit Lienagest is a player who plays the finisher's role. It takes a little while to settle down. So if these 2 batters bats through till about the next 10 overs, I don't mind just promoting Manidu Hasaranga, give him the license. Yes, he's not been in super form, but maybe the thinking pattern, the aggression can be shown with a promotion to Manidu Hasaranga and keep Janit Lienagest to play the finisher's role. That's an option, but if these 2 continues, I don't see anything to be changed. But certainly, they're thinking out of the box to get 280 on a pitch. This is very good for batting. Sometimes can work in a series decider.
Hasaranga, feet up for the moment, staring at the sights around Pallekele. Since 2018 though, in ODIs at Pallekele, 9 times the team batting first has won. But on 7 occasions, 7 out of 9, they've defended a score above 290. 280, 250 plus, just the once, and only once has a team won scoring less than 250. If you're looking at history and looking at this pitch as well, you think Sri Lanka need to get close to 300. That would all depend on how well this partnership goes. They probably need to turn things around or turn things around the corner into the gaps and start picking up the pace. Wonderfully played by Mendes.
I thought that was a slow delivery tried by Mustafiz. Yes, 140.1 kilometers per hour. Confirmation. Rolled his wrist over it beautifully. Kusal Mendes. Back of the length for Kusal Mendes when he's in form. That's almost like a freebie. Yeah, into the pitch. Field at deep square leg is quite fine. And the fine leg fielder is quite square. So the gap wasn't that big. But still managed to bisect the gap perfectly to solve.
Too good. 4 dot balls and back-to-back boundaries just spoils the over for Bangladesh. 128 for 3. Well, quietly picking up the pace of Sri Lanka. Don't feel it because that's how well they're batting, especially Kusal Mendes.
First boundary short, set up nicely, put it away. Another a slow delivery. This occasion was too full. Ball is going too full. There's no place for the ball to grip to get the outside edge. Becomes a freebie. Still, the attack against Charita Srilanka with mid-on in the circle continues. It is beautifully done. With the turn, nice high elbow, most importantly, at the last milliseconds, open the face of the blade to find the gap between extra cover and the mid-off.
No, I don't think he'll get that. Turned and bounced. They know how important this wicket is, and hence the discussion. Sri Lanka, under pressure, he scores lots of runs. He has, in fact. But they're not asking, or rather asking for the review. That straightens. Yeah, missing leg for me.
Early indication where Jakar Ali ends up as a wicketkeeper. I thought Mendes and Miraj was quite convinced that probably be hitting the leg stump. But the wicketkeeper had other ideas, and I think he's quite sensible not to go upstairs.
Lovely hit, lovely hit. He's toying with the deep square leg fielder, who was moved very, very fine. But this time, he hits it hard and square.
Yeah, the short square leg fielder was almost to the fine leg area. LW shout, pitching in line, impact in line. The bounce at Pallakele Stadium is undoing for the bowler, and the right next delivery. Yeah, it was straight. And Charita Sri Lanka made sure he met the ball at the right time and made sure he found the gap. Excellent shot. Not much risk. Definitely good result for Sri Lanka.
Good use of the feet. He's got the boundary. Now just keep rotating the strike.
Excellent by Charita Sri Lanka. This is exactly where Kamindu Mendes got it wrong. Boundary, 3 dot deliveries, and the 4th delivery was dismissed. The other hand, Charita Sri Lanka boundary, get a single. Hit run from the last 2 deliveries of the previous over. 5 runs from this over. All of a sudden, 6 runs per over has been achieved.
Again, the run rate now creeping up towards that 5 mark. 247 at this rate. They'll have to go at 7, 8 and over to get to that 280, 290 mark. 133 for 3. This partnership, 33 of 36. It's quietly gathering momentum. Barbecue amongst the mountains. I really like the way Kusal Mendes uses his body to create his angles and creates very different areas to hit the ball. Sometimes he goes or takes the bat from down to up to hit it in the air. Now watch that back leg. It's all about transfer of weight and the base. Onto that front foot, then he drops the back leg and he's pretty much playing a sweep shot. Just creating opportunities for himself by the way he uses his feet, his weight, and hence very difficult to bowl to. It's not all about the coaching manual, that front leg to the ball or deep in your crease.
Just to add one more thing, the head position was not shaking at all. It was very steady when it comes to making the impact, as well as on the initial movement it was very steady. And players were going through a bad patch, going through a lean period. You'll see the head position right at the back or falling over to the offside. But for Kusal Mendes, who's been batting well since the Test series, his head position was the key in that particular stroke.
Now we are not too far away from the 34th over. Playing conditions have changed. We have two balls that we use from either end. Four. Very clever. It was all about the angle and how Srilanka used it.
Yeah, nicely done by Charita Srilanka. Got enough bat. Pace on 131.8, just helping on its way. Wide of the crease by Mustafiz. That's what he does against the left-handers. Against a high-quality player like Charita Srilanka on a good pitch in a fast outfield. Pay the price most of the time.
So at the end of the 34th over, the fielding team get the option of picking one ball to continue till the 50th. So the equation changes a wee bit, Mahathir, because it's a softer ball to hit. There can be a bit more wear and tear, and hence reverse swing can come in later. So the projections that we are used to over the last few years can be slightly different.
Yeah, definitely. And also in the first two ODIs in the 4 innings, but we've seen with the visuals we have, the fielding captain opts for a ball is slightly newer than an older one. But that's something that baffles me a bit. Playing in the subcontinent, you rather pick up the older ball, which helps you to bit of reverse swing for the fast bowlers. Not so easy for the spinners, not so hard. Once the ball makes impact with the bat, the traveling distance won't be much. So it all depends on the surface as well. But in this sort of a surface, which has a little bit of bounce and a bit of seam movement, as we saw when Tanzim Hassan Shakib was bowling, won't be a bad option. To choose a slightly new ball to see whether something is on offer for the fast bowlers.
Where is Shamim? Just the 5 bowlers used. Shamim bowled so well. I think his contribution with the ball helped. Oh, there's Shamim. We're talking about... oh yes, Shamim, the off spinner. Shamim Hossain Patwari. He helped Bangladesh manage those middle overs. I'm a little surprised that he's not been introduced yet. That's the end of the 28, 138 for 3. Well, there is a partnership for Sri Lanka to breathe a little bit easier because they lost 3 wickets with the score reaching 100, and that wasn't what they planned after they won the toss and decided to bat. Kusal Mendis has carried on from where he left off in that last game. All Sri Lankans would be hoping that he can convert these starts into something big. Srilanka missed out in that second game, gradually finding his feet here, 19 of 22. The rate of under 5 runs and over. Miraj from round the wicket with a packed offside field. Good evening, Amir.
Good evening, or should I say good afternoon. Oh, it's close to 5. Yeah, you can say evening. Good evening to all. Yeah, Kusal Mendis, like you suggested, that he has to eke out more. If he goes on to score 100 here, that will really help the cause of Sri Lanka in this important tie. And he's farming the gap. That's ominous for the Bangladeshi bowlers. When he gets going, Sri Lanka, very hard to stop him.
I'll tell you what, he's finding those gaps. He's hit 4 fours already, and he's sweeping outside the off stump, the slog sweep, but very, very effective. Look at that look on his face. He's surprised as well because he was bowling wide of the off stump. The plan is to bowl wide of the off stump and get him to play on the offside. But to his credit, I think Sri Lanka is clever. He's opening up that leg side area.
Yeah, the way these Bangladeshi spinners are bowled in this series, as a batter, you need to be innovative to be able to score at your will. You're hoping for a bad delivery. You'll have to wait for eternity. You, as a batsman, need to up the ante. A forward prod, one should say, and then bat the ball very early to be able to place it in front of square. But that boundary effort has been spoiled after playing 2 dot deliveries. Should have aimed for a single.
Yes, sometimes you see that. It's the obvious thing. Where you score a boundary and then you want to start it with singles just to try and rotate the strike. But the bowler, if you look at this over, he's conceded a boundary, but 4 dots, he's come back very strongly. So Miraj will be pleased with his effort, despite conceding the boundary. And he finishes well. 5 dots, 142 for 3. And 29 overs completed. It's time for some drinks.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই, আপনাদের জন্য নিয়ে আসলাম বিশ্বস্ত বেটিং ওয়েবসাইট bazicash.com। আপনি এখানে বিকাশ, নগদ, রকেট থেকে নিজে ডিপোজিট এবং নিজে উইথড্র করতে পারবেন সর্বোচ্চ 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে। তাই অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে চাইলে আর দেরি না করে স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার অথবা কমেন্ট বক্সে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ লিঙ্ক দেওয়া আছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন। এবং যে সকল ভাইরা অ্যাপ্লিয়েন্ট আইডি নিয়ে কাজ করতে আগ্রহী আছেন, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন।
হ্যালো, আসসালামু আলাইকুম বাংলাদেশি ভাই এবং প্রবাসী ভাইয়েরা, যে যেখানেই থাকুন না কেন, আমাদের 9 উইকেট সাইটটি পৃথিবীর সব জায়গা থেকে খেলতে পারবেন। এখানে আপনারা ক্রিকেটের ব্যাটিং ধরতে পারবেন এবং আপনারা এখানে ডিপোজিট এবং উইথড্র মাত্র 2 মিনিটে ক্লিয়ার পাবেন। সুতরাং বিস্তারিত জানতে এবং বেট অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে আপনারা আমাদের স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া নাম্বার, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার এবং পিন কমেন্টে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারে যোগাযোগ করুন।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই, আপনাদের জন্য নিয়ে আসলাম বিশ্বস্ত বেটিং ওয়েবসাইট bazicash.com। আপনি এখানে বিকাশ, নগদ, রকেট থেকে নিজে ডিপোজিট এবং নিজে উইথড্র করতে পারবেন সর্বোচ্চ 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে। তাই অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে চাইলে আর দেরি না করে স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার অথবা কমেন্ট বক্সে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ লিঙ্ক দেওয়া আছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন। এবং যে সকল ভাইরা অ্যাপ্লিয়েন্ট আইডি নিয়ে কাজ করতে আগ্রহী আছেন, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন।
142 for 3. Kusal Mendis has been the batter in form for Sri Lanka. 64 of 73. Is it 10 fours already?
He has held the helm quite nicely. He started off in a promising way and he has carried on. He's the one who's been finding the boundary frequently. At times, he did not require a back delivery to score his runs. Needs to carry on. They've been disciplined. They haven't allowed Sri Lankan batters to run away with the game. They have made them work hard for their runs.
Well, Kusal Mendis has been in magnificent form, and talking about cricketers like that, that's where they come from. School cricket. Sri Lanka cricket has laid out an excellent platform, that is to develop school cricket, because there are so many young cricketers that have come through this system. They've given plenty of support in terms of material and infrastructure. And lots of cricketers, they do play at under 13, 15, 17 and 19. So school cricket is so important in Sri Lanka, and I can tell you that every player in this side has been a product of that system. And many more coming through as well.
Securing the future of Sri Lankan cricket. Have to keep on developing infrastructure, facilitate the players, and that augurs well for the future.
Quite a few Bangladeshi supporters have turned up, I must say. A lot of credit to them, not just supporters, quite a contingent from the media, quite a bit of them reporting on this tour. And of course, the fair share of Bangladesh and Sri Lanka supporters enjoying themselves together.
Yeah, this Bangladeshi tiger has really roared in this series. Tanveer Islam, very impressive. Economical yet so threatening.
No, it's not good feeling. Allows the batter to get a single. But yeah, you're right. I thought that spell that Tanveer Islam had in that last game thoroughly deserved that man of the match award. The way he bowled well to both the left-handers and right-handers, and that's something, I believe that's a hallmark of a quality bowler.
Yeah, he deservedly got that, but I think the game was set up really nicely by Shamim and the captain. The way they bowled, they kept on ramping up the pressure on the batters, and then Tanveer excelled.
Just looking back at that game, Amir, I believe when wickets fell close to each other, Bangladesh spinners at both ends, give them credit. They built up dots, they just created so much of pressure. And the Sri Lankan batters, just, I felt, played right into their hands with their approach. And then eventually when wickets started to fall, it was thanks to some very good bowling by Tanveer, who created pressure. He found wicket-taking areas, wicket-taking deliveries, turn off the track.
And it takes me back to game number 1, where you and Maroof were having a discussion, and you were stating a claim about Chandimal to be in the middle order. And I think you made the right call. You need some experience in your middle order. That's where I think Lankan batting has been faltering. Openers not coming to the fore, leaving middle order under tremendous pressure, and they haven't got that experience to be able to deal with it day in and day out. Speak to the selectors.
That's not good fielding. That's poor cricket. Bangladesh could really afford that. That will run away to the boundary. That's Gaskin. Bangladesh needs that desperate kind of effort on the field to cut off every possible run. Half chances to be taken. This should have been stopped.
Yeah, one failed. The dive came in a bit early. Oh, well played by Srilanka. Delayed the stroke, used the angle quite well. Opened the face of the bat at the last moment.
Got to end the over. So at the 30 over mark, Sri Lanka 147 for 3. Well, at the current rate, 245, that is not enough. Sri Lanka knows that. This is a good surface, so they'll need close to a 300 mark to feel comfortable. So they need to go at, say, over 7 to 8 runs and over. But to do that, it's this partnership that needs to kick on. Kusal Mendis is promising 65, Sri Lanka 27. Shamim Hossain, what a spell he had in that last game. He spoke about it. He just came in, closed up one end by bowling those dots. Very, very economical.
Yeah, he's got a peculiar action, Jamil. It's hard to get used to it very quickly. For the batters and hands, he creates problems. Yeah, it's a gauge. At the end of 30th over, if you're 147, with a loss of just 3 wickets, you can easily double it. So Sri Lanka has a very good chance to go beyond 280, and that should be competitive, taking into the account of the strength of the bowling lineup.
Yeah, they'll need that score. That's a minimum. 280 is a minimum in my opinion, because the surfaces look very good. The ballers come onto the bat. Haven't found anything unusual. Yeah. You were talking about that unusual action. That has a lot to do with that round armish action where he goes round the wicket, fires it in. Doesn't really go over the top as a spinner, but instead he looks to push it through quickly. Maybe slide it on a little bit, surprise the batter. This time it's 4. Yes, it is. For a moment I thought the mid-wicket fielder saw it. He didn't pick it up. The 50 partnership is up. The mid-wicket fielder did not pick it up. And the 150 is up as well.
Did not come from the middle of the bat. Kind of an inside edge. He was intending this ball to go over the head of the bowler. Lucky 4 runs for Sri Lanka.
Gone again. This is, I don't know whether there was a touch, but it's gone fine into the boundary. Yes, there has been a touch. For a moment I thought the angle just brushed the pads, but no, Sri Lanka just getting a fine tickle. They've got 9 of the first 4 deliveries.
Yeah, the intent shown by Sri Lanka with first couple of deliveries forced the bowler to change the line and also the pace. And rest was history. They held the ball on its way for another boundary of the over.
He goes round the wicket, looks to angle it in. So if you start outside the off stump, you'll angle it back into the left hander. But you start straight, you're going to go down the leg side and it becomes easy pickings. So not needs to be very accurate. You could see that. Look at that angle. From round the wicket, looking to bowl middle stump, it just angles down the leg side. 156 for 3. .156 for 3. Those buildings have been manageable for Bangladesh. No skyscrapers yet, but if this pair manages to go on batting, expect a few skyscrapers going into the last, say, 5 to 10 overs. That's ideal if you're a Sri Lankan fan.
Both the batters are warming up to the job. They are. Bangladesh desperately need to break this partnership. Crowd has picked up.
As Candy always does, Palekale does towards the evening, and they generally turn up in their numbers. This is a good place to play cricket and watch cricket. I'm sure those empty areas will be covered very soon with spectators turning up. Nice use of the feet, down the ground, 1 bounce for 4.
Seems like he has warmed up now. Srilanka, a couple of boundaries in the previous over, and this was on the cards. He was bound to jump out of the crease to the left armour and did it quite well. Positivity in his footwork and authenticity with the stroke making earned him another boundary.
Yep, 5 runs on the first 3. Sensible, very sensible. This is what you were talking about. You score boundary and then you look to try and add value to it with those singles rather than playing dots. Sri Lanka's just played 1 dot, but they got 2 singles and a 4.
After getting a boundary in a single, you tell your partner, I've done my job. It's up to you now. And he has got into the act as well. Kusal Mendes swept it fine. What a fine result.
Well, it's that kind of a surface. You cannot be offline. You cannot err. This is outside the leg stump. And Kusal Mendes manages to control it because it was wide to the leg stump. Rather than going square, what he did well was he delayed the shot and played it fine in the gap. There was a short fine leg, but perfectly picked. Clever batting. 10 runs so far in the over.
Nice one.
Ten runs in that over, 166 for 3. Well, talking about skyscrapers, that is now emerging to be the top. It's just gone above the others, those tall buildings. That's the best over Sri Lanka has had so far in the innings. 166 for 3, the rate of scoring over 5 runs. Now, a point that I always believe is so important the middle overs. When you play, those middle overs are absolutely critical, whether you're fielding or whether you're batting. So you would want to go in to the 40th over if you're a batting side. Srilanka goes again, this time only a single, with wickets in hand. Ideally with 2 set batters, at least one. Now if you look at Sri Lanka's effort, in the first ODI, 192 for 6. They'd lost 6 wickets going into that. And the second one even worse, 174 for 8. So no wonder they struggled to come up with something substantial. And here goes another boundary. It's raining boundaries here. This is Kusal Mendis. Sri Lanka has already hit 27 fours. And Kusal Mendis doing it so well.
He's a different bowler in this game. Jameen Patwari. He was so economical and irritating for the batters. Wasn't giving them everything free to them. But here, he's leaking boundaries. Not good. Yeah, when you talk about Sri Lanka losing too many wickets in the middle overs, the reason for that has been the openers not coming to the fore. One. And then Kusal Mendis not playing a big hand, leaving a lot of pressure on the other batsmen who are trying to establish themselves at this level. So, I mean, they have to deal with this. It's a concern. Maybe bringing in Chandimal. You would love that. 172 for 3.
So 72 of 72, that's a very good rate that the Sri Lankans are scoring at. And this is a good partnership between Srilanka and Kusal Mendis.
They have been busy. Srilanka and Kusal Mendis. Boundaries were dried up due to some good bowling, but a bit of innovation from the left-hander. And captain of Sri Lanka has surmounted the pressure on Bangladeshi bowlers. They are faltering now. This is the time for them to cash in for these two batters.
So just to quickly complete what I was trying to say, Sri Lanka has a good chance of going into the 40th over if this partnership continues. You have at least one set batter going into the last 10 overs, which is critical if you're looking at maximizing those last 10 overs. Going at 8 runs and over, maybe 9 runs and over. You need a set batter to lead the way.
And that was the main reason why Sri Lanka was able to get to 244, because Srilanka remained there till the end. O Sri Lankan side during that first ODI. Wasn't the case in the second one. Wickets kept on tumbling, hence Bangladeshis were able to square the ODI series. All to play for here.
And having said that, Amir, also the surface in at Pallekele lends itself much better to batting. Ball is coming onto the bat, and batting has been far more easier. Conditions have been friendlier. Yes, at the Premadasa, there were a few questions always asked. The batters were never really looked in. At least the odd ball would get stuck in the pitch. Spinners would get the odd ball to turn.
You're right, this is such a true pitch. We haven't seen any ball deviating off the surface for the fast bowlers or the spinners. Well, this is the last ODI played at Pallekele, and after that we'll have the most popular format in subcontinent. T20 and 3 of them.
Yep, you play this game at the first T20 in Pallikale. Expect a big crowd, I'll tell you. Already, I believe there is a mad rush for tickets there. Then we go to the Rangiri Dambulu Stadium for one game. And we return to Colombo to round off things. So yeah, the shortest format, the most popular, most sought after format in the modern game.
Oh, they love it. They do. And how many tickets have you bought already, Roshan? Oh, this is good. Very good. He loves them there. Anything back of the lane is very square on those deliveries to Sal Mendes.
I don't think the fielder had a chance because once it hit that turf, it bounced so quickly. The fielder had to have his body behind it. Just look at that. No chance. Absolutely no chance. It was the angle and it just rushed.
You know, usually when you're looking to pull the ball, you have to meet the ball at arm's length. Here, he just used that short arm jab and roll of the wrist. Incredible. Again. The first one, backward of square. The other one, in front of square. He's turning it on to Sal Mendes. It's 182 for 3.
Well, the last 30 balls, 40 runs, and the last 4 overs, 35 runs.
Yeah, plenty of boundaries scored. And both the batters are matching the ambience. We saw Srilanka getting quite a few boundaries against spinners. And the moment faster bowler was introduced, Kusal told himself, it's my turn to find the boundaries. Did it quite well in the previous over.
Well, he's just toying with the bowling. The first boundary he hit was behind square leg, the next one in front of square. Right, so this is the new rule that happens. It's a new ball that gets selected that will go on for the next 16 overs. So it will be one ball and not two balls from either end. So the captain has to make that decision as to which ball he picks. Haven't really seen the captain paying much attention to that.
Well, as this rule is going to evolve, then the captains there will pick the ball with the right thinking. You know, if you want the ball with the spinners, you need a softer ball. That it shouldn't fly. But at the moment, the ball is flying for the Sri Lankan batters. They've been very consistent in finding boundaries.
Well, that's not the one they're playing with or discarded. That's mounted. And it looks quite good.
Well, the scene looked quite real, didn't it? Somebody must have hit a big 6 that is stuck there.
Yeah. And look at the size of the ball. Runs here, couple.
Yeah, but the run rate has picked up. It's jumped to 5.37 now. Ominous signs.
And I didn't realize all the time the focus was so much on Kusal Mendis, who's 86 of 86. Charita Srilanka has quietly closed in on another half century, 46 of 50. Doesn't get noticed too much when Kusal Mendis is in this mood.
Yeah, he's been going about the job quite quietly. Doesn't make a lot of noise. But Kusal Mendis is making a lot of noise with the bat. It's 189 for 3.
Top-class batting has really pulled it back for Sri Lanka. 89 runs partnership between Sri Lanka and Kusal Mendis turned the tide. They are in control now, really picking their shots, picking their spots, and giving a lot of trouble to the Bangladeshi bowlers. Looking very, very ominous. Bangladesh desperately in search of a wicket here. It's been a different ball game altogether compared to the second ODI, when Bangladeshi spinners in particular tied the batters in knots and hardly gave them any opportunities. But today, there's been a different ball game altogether. These two have really asserted their authority, and the Bangladeshis are under pressure now in the field. Afternoon, Maha.
Afternoon, Shamim. They are well in control. 89 of 85 deliveries. It's a bit of turn delegation. And in this innings, what stands out for me is that absolutely not a single maximum so far. 29 boundaries. It's 116 runs out of 190, which includes 119 dot deliveries. Something that Sri Lanka may rule later is the number of dot deliveries. On a good surface, this is nothing to do with the surface, but just the batsman's mindset and some good bowling in the middle overs as well as in the power play. Certainly, with another 88 deliveries more, Shamim, I think even a 300, if these two batters continues in the next 10 overs, is a possibility, because this is a high-scoring pitch as well as a stadium when it comes to death overs.
Well, if they're going to go and reach the 300 mark, obviously these two, one of these two have got to stay till the end. Will be Kusal Mendis 11 shy of a century, 3 runs shy, Sri Lanka from a half century. Oh, it's easy for him to back away, but this time there is cover in the deep. Just a single. I see your point, but you've got to give credit to the Bangladeshis in the early part, the first half of the match, where they managed to not allow the freedom to the Sri Lankan batters. Once they got settled in, the way they've turned it around in the last 15-20 overs has been exemplary.
Both the batters nearing a milestone, Shamim. Kusal with the 100, Charita Srilanka with the 50. Best time for Madison Mirage, as the batters probably not going to take any risk, play the ball on its merit. They squeeze in some more dot deliveries. Horses for courses, game plan slightly changes, and once these two batters, if they get to the milestone, they'll probably tee off, and that will be opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's the dot you're talking about. Finished the over, 193 for 3.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ভাই, আপনাদের জন্য নিয়ে আসলাম বিশ্বস্ত বেটিং ওয়েবসাইট pazicash.com। আপনি এখানে বিকাশ, নগদ, রকেট থেকে নিজে ডিপোজিট এবং নিজে উইথড্র করতে পারবেন সর্বোচ্চ 5 মিনিটের মধ্যে। তাই অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে চাইলে আর দেরি না করে স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার অথবা কমেন্ট বক্সে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ লিংক দেওয়া আছে, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন। এবং যে সকল ভাইয়েরা অ্যাপ্লিয়েন্ট আইডি নিয়ে কাজ করতে আগ্রহী আছেন হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে মেসেজ করুন।
You were mentioning the dot balls, 120 of them. Really, in 20 overs, that's quite a significant number with no sixes in an ODI in the 37th over. Big surprise. Kept that low. That is struck delightfully. The manner, despite the fact that a little bit of a low bounce, he adjusted so very well and thrashed it away back with a point.
They almost played off Jafar Ali's gloves. Played it so late. That was quick by Tanvir Islam. Almost 90 kilometers per hour. This is what Kusal Mendes have done right throughout the series. Finding gaps for perfection.
The boundary of the first ball immediately puts the pressure on Tanvir Islam. Comes back with a better delivery. Easy to tuck it away. Hasn't been that uncertainty of the wicket. Batters being able to trust the pace and bounce of the wicket, so batting much easier.
This is wonderful conditions for batting, that's for sure. Which is keeping up to the reputation, being one of the best, or if not the best, stadium for batting in Sri Lanka. I think for us outfield, the pitch is in the batsman's dream to bat on. Huge appeal, but the wicket keeper had absolutely no interest.
And he was moving down to the left side. You could see he was following the ball, understandably. The little things that encourage the bowlers, just manner of just beating the bat. It's a bit of a moral victory. Again, easy enough to roll the wrists, amble the single.
Yeah, nearing his milestone, Karika Sri Lanka, so hence not taking any risk playing with the turn against the left arm spinner. Couple of deliveries before. And the height, the line, certainly the gains see a bowler and the wicketkeeper's reaction. He did not even respond. He was out of the ball.
Kusal Mendes is going to take it easy. Just 5 shy of another milestone. And we're just coming to the end of his quarter of 10 overs. Been a little expensive. It's taken a good wicket. Oh, really? Oh, goodness. Did he get an edge? I don't think he had, but he finishes the over well and his spell. 199 for 3.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দর্শক, ক্রিকেট, ফুটবল সহ সকল খেলা লাইভ দেখতে আমাদের পেজটি ফলো করে রাখুন। সবাই ফলো করে দিন এখনই। আসসালামু আলাইকুম দর্শক, ক্রিকেট, ফুটবল সহ সকল খেলা লাইভ দেখতে আমাদের পেজটি ফলো করে রাখুন। সবাই ফলো করে দিন এখনই।
Manager Mahinda Halangura in the middle, Gian Mubarak, Coach Manidu Hasaranga in his playing kit, but not parad yet, so and that's an indication that Sri Lanka will go on with the same batting lineup that they tried out in the last game. With Janit Linagi at 6, Belalagi at 7.
Thinking of a run there, but not getting it. Last ball of the previous over, there's a little bit of drift. And turn, not gathered cleanly by Jafar Ali, even at the last attempt trying to whip off the bails. Sri Lanka leans away, thinks of a run.
A couple of deliveries have turned now. That was beautifully bowled, Tanvir Islam, the last ball of his spell. Really missing the outside edge. But nicely done by Tanvir Islam. It was expensive, but it's bowled well.
Well, 3 milestones may be completed by 1 run. Sri Lanka on 199. Sri Lanka on 49. The partnership on 99 of 99. How often those figures appear together?
We're trying to jinx it, Shaman Chaudhary.
Not trying to jinx it at all, just giving you the figures. There you see, he gets a single and all the scores tick over. That is very, very well done. Jasuri appreciates that. So do the support staff and his partners.
Brings up Charita Sri Lanka's 50, 100 partnership between Mendes and Sri Lanka, and the 200 for Sri Lanka, as you said, Shamin. 16th half century for Charita Sri Lanka. Third against Bangladesh, and he certainly likes playing against Bangladesh, as he has 200s as well in his career. Now you probably see, after getting it to his milestone, a different ball game from Charita Sri Lanka, trying to tee off.
Mendes will go on his merry way, and he's going to sweep that so confidently. He's done that over and over in this innings, and he races to 1 shy of a century.
Well controlled, and he's been playing with the deep square leg fielder and deep wicket fielder right throughout these innings. Picture perfect sweep shot and perfectly timed and play shot. Right in the gap, no stopping that. Just a run away.
199. There he goes, 100. Pakistan Mendes. What a masterly innings. Was difficult early on, but he has done mastercraft at the end of that 38th over. We'll come back to that. Good innings from him. It's 205 for 3. The right numbers appearing on the board for Sri Lanka. 100 for Kusal Mendes. Charita Sri Lanka on 50. Looking very ominous. This partnership of 105 of 102.
600 in his career, 5th at home. And this was nicely done. Right throughout this Bangladesh tour of Sri Lanka, he's been in red hot form. Never seen Sanat Jayasuriya smile this wide ever since he started coaching. Appreciated by the Sri Lankan side. Best stat about all of this, when Kusal Mendes scores 100 at home, Sri Lanka never lost. But that's something I'm pretty sure Jan Mubarak, the computer analyst, would have sent that out, message to the dugout. The only time Sri Lanka did lose, that it could have been closer, did lose after scoring 100 was in the World Cup 2023 in India at Hyderabad against Pakistan. Was certainly a key player performing in a very, very important game for Sri Lanka.
And you can see how he enjoyed it. He knew he had to really fight for it early. And his captain and partner really coming across and saying, well done, but we've got to keep on going. About 12 overs after this, Sri Lanka looking to pile on the runs. Baskin Ahmed will be under pressure. Ball tries to bowl the wideish Yorker. Sensible delivery to bowl at this point in time.
Yeah, certainly. I think Charita Sri Lanka, after reaching the milestone, anything in his arc which is middle stump on a good lane, he's going to start target the deep in-wicket area. And Taskin Ahmed, he has played so much cricket against Charita Sri Lanka, he'll probably know that's his arc. It's the best line to bowl and best length to bowl full just outside the yaw stump. If you miss it, probably end up in the grass banks.
Well, nothing's ended up over the top in the grassy banks yet. Waiting for the first 6.
The captain's knock. But since he walked in, he looked very busy. Lopez into the singles, played the fast bowlers really well, used the angles pretty well as well. Not a single six. That's quite different to Srilanka as we see in the past. He likes to go aerial, and occasionally big, but did not time it well down the ground. Certainly a captain's knock. Just what the Sri Lankan side wanted, and a serious decider.
Now you can see more shots flying like that. That's too easy. Job just drifting down leg. All he had to do is help the ball on its way to the boundary.
I can't explain why Taskin Ahmed is reluctant to pitch it full, Shamim. Since mid-off in the circle, he cannot pitch it full and miss the Yorker against the Centurion. And now he's dragging back the length and playing into Kusal Mendy's hands. He loves this stroke. And especially when you have fine leg in the circle, becomes almost a freebie. Tough task for the fast bowlers, especially before the 40th over. Only 4 fielders are allowed outside.
He tries to bowl the Yorker, makes it into a low full toss. He'll coming around, and just the 2 runs. It's been a brilliant 100. He started off quite attackingly and then settled down in the middle period when there were wickets falling and the fielding was good from Bangladesh. But once he got into his rhythm, there's no stopping him. Shots forward of square, backward of square, all round the ground.
High quality knock from a high quality player. The pressure game. Well in control, hardly a foot being put in wrong side by Kusal Mendes. 107 of 98 deliveries with less space shows the area of stroke he has in his repertoire. A single to end the 39th over, 214 for 3.
.143 was his highest in the bowler versus New Zealand, versus Pakistan, West Indies. He's got hundreds. He's got his second against Bangladesh here at Pallekele, and he's looking to go big. He's looking very dangerous, very much in sync with the requirements, and tremendous pressure on the Bangladeshi bowlers.
Good back and wheel. Very strong towards mid-wicket, mid-off. Those are the areas Kusal Mendes loves it. He's in full song, appreciating the Pallekele crowd, which never disappoints. Though it's a T20 or a ODI, always turns up to support the home side. Probably sure come evening, probably by 6 o'clock now the offices are closing down. The crowd will be much more, hoping that Sri Lanka will finish this series 2-1.
So many great grounds all around Sri Lanka, all the way from Goal to the SSC to the Premadasa. Now here, Pallekele, Kandy, distant hills, all very pretty. Mustafizur Rahman, gone for 24. Been a little tardy. Started off reasonably well, tight bowling early on, but then a little all over the place, allowing the batters to take charge. Then drift down leg, got away with that one.
Something very noticeable in this game, Mustafizur against the right-handers loves to bowl over the wicket only. That's a tactical move, probably the team meetings they would have spoken about. And now we are looking pleasant, peaceful. It's been very hot lately, not only in Colombo, Shamim, but in Gaul, Kandy as well.
Mustafizur Rahman reverting back to over the wicket for the left-hander, Sri Lanka. Oh, that was definitely much slower. Kept below the bat.
As a batter, probably Charita Srilanka knew what was coming. Slow ball into the pitch, third man, mid-off, all in the circle. It was not going to be full. But the way Mustafizur Rahman disguised the slow ball, just hits the pitch and just died down. It's never easy for the batter when the ball dies down with less or lack of pace. You know what's coming, but still very hard to put away, even for a batter who has scored 50 runs.
Oh, that slipped through his fingers, I'm sure. Trying to roll his fingers over. Almost made it into a full toss. Maybe he was striving for the Yorker. Not quite coming off.
That had the potential of being the first maximum of the innings into the grass banks. How on earth Charita Srilanka missed out?
Surprised him. Previous delivery was 113. This was 128. Bit of a rush. There you go. That's the surprise. That's the reason why he couldn't latch on. Now coming around once again. Again, the angle not being properly used. This is the ploy that Mustafiz has used today in particular, even bowling to the right-hander coming around. He hasn't been really able to bowl his cutters to the right-handed batters, essentially trying to curtail rather than take wickets, and coming around the wicket and hoping that the batters don't get that space to bat. Back and forth with the left-right combination is over the wicket now. Little guide away, delicately done. What could be better? Don't have to hit the ball hard. All you got to do is use the pace. Lovely deft touch and lovely boundary.
That's the risk you take when you have fine leg third man both in the circle, not going stumps to stumps. Though it was a slower delivery, it was skidding off the pitch. Charita Srilanka, behind the deep wicket fielder like a hawk, sees the opportunity to get through the cow point and the third man fielders in the 30-yard, does it perfectly, using the pace and deliberately opening the face of the bat to bring up a boundary which has only 7 runs and make it 8 runs. Always Imon to field at cow point. Nevertheless, under the circumstances, a decent over by Mustafizur. 222 for 3.
You can see the distinct change in gears halfway through. After 25, it's been more consistent, high-scoring overs. Double Nelson's now on the board for 3. Just the perfect position to be in to go for the big hits.
Eyeing the deep mid-wicket fielder, Charita Srilanka is just peeping towards deep mid-wicket and realizes no one's there. Watch out.
Oh, that's a good ball, but possibly going down leg. I think he might just ponder a review. Bangladesh will be interested that the captain is asking the keeper, running out of time. He looks up and takes it.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. The on-field decision is not out. I have checked the field. It's a fair delivery. Can we start with front on, please? Yeah, appears to be batting ball. Can I confirm with ultras, please? Just keep rolling. There is a spike on ball next to the bat and deflection as well. Paris, stay with your original decision, not out. Stand by. You're on screen. Please signal.
Good decision. Very good decision by Loudon Palekar, one of the most consistent in the world. And looking at Taskin Ahmed and Jakar Ali, both as soon as the ball wraps the pads, they were quite convinced. Now there's a massive inside edge. But a good delivery by Taskin. He realizes best thing to bowl, or the best delivery to bowl to Charita Srilanka is nice and full, or probably just outside the off stump, was eyeing and lining up the bowler towards mid-wicket.
Yeah, there hasn't been much to encourage the bowlers in the recent past. And he's striving for that Yorker once again. Maybe 6 inches too much longer, allows that low full toss to be played down the ground.
Nice and full again by Taskin Ahmed. When in doubt, go full, as they say for fast bowlers in their overs. Probably tailed in a little bit towards the right-hander. That was the inside edge of Charita Srilanka. Is covering the stumps. That's one area. Mid-wicket long on. Anything outside the off stump, going over mid-off is a very good option also.
There he goes. Now it's up in there, swirling. There's a fielder coming underneath that one. And he's going to gobble it up. It's the captain. The full toss gets the wicket for this young man who's really worked hard. And the Bangladesh supporters can smile a bit now.
Twice in 2 overs, Charita Srilanka misses on a full toss. Last over against Mustafizur, just a single, and this occasion, no power at all. Went so high, Mehdi Hasan Miraj had so much time backpedaling. Taskin Ahmed knows what a big wicket that was. Skipper, Sri Lanka goes for 58, Sri Lanka 224 for 4.
হ্যালো আসসালামু আলাইকুম বাংলাদেশি ভাই এবং প্রবাসী ভাইরা যে যেখানেই থাকুন না কেন আমাদের 9 উইকেট সাইটটি পৃথিবীর সব জায়গা থেকে খেলতে পারবেন। এখানে আপনারা ক্রিকেটের ব্যাটিং ধরতে পারবেন এবং আপনারা এখানে ডিপোজিট এবং উইথড্র মাত্র 2 মিনিটে ক্লিয়ার পাবেন। সুতরাং বিস্তারিত জানতে এবং বেট অ্যাকাউন্ট করতে আপনারা আমাদের স্ক্রিনে দেওয়া নাম্বার, হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বার এবং পিন কমেন্টে দেওয়া হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারে যোগাযোগ করুন।
Leonage, the new batter in, and is in the middle because a wicket has fallen of the captain. 82.25 his strike rate. That will be important. He's got 105 50s. No mark with the bat, that's for sure.
100 against Bangladesh in Chattogram. 78 was his contribution in the last game. Almost took Sri Lankan side home on a tough pitch and a good run chase. He's certainly been given the responsibility of being the finisher of this side. 78 of 85 to be exact in the last game.
Yeah, this is the wicket. This is against run of play. Just a full toss could have put it away anywhere, not quite getting it properly swooped up in the air, and this simple catch for Mehdi Hasan Miraj, who just waited for it to land on his lap. An appreciation from the coach for a good innings. Gave Sri Lanka a lot of hope. That partnership brought them to a position of comfort in this deciding one-day international of the series. Again, a full toss. Somehow feel it's quite deliberate, getting to hit him on the thumb.
I think it just hit the splice of the bat, and the impact, the vibration was an issue for Kusal Mendis. On the part of Sri Lanka, they'd be quite happy that Janit Tinege scored some runs, and he can, from the word go, he can time the ball. Certainly the vibration making Kusal Mendis uncomfortable in his fingers, probably cramping up as well. Barrett for 103 deliveries, a long innings. It's not the most pleasant Pallakele weather, but certainly a testing one. Very good over comes to end for Bangladesh, 225 for 4.
that important wicket of Charita Srilanka has given some hope for the Bangladeshis to restrain Sri Lanka. They're really on the move when the partnership between Sri Lanka and Kamala Mendes was going strong. But now maybe with the fall of wicket, Bangladesh will be hoping that they can get two in quick succession. The Sri Lankan supporters here gathering in numbers, enjoying the music and enjoying the cricket in the middle from their players.
Watch cricket in Sri Lanka without music. Popular band is blazing away. That's where naturally you shake the body. Down the leg side, straight away. Mustafiz against Janit Vinage is opting to bowl over the wicket. Kusal Mendes right throughout these innings, he's been opting to go round the wicket. The first ball he bowled over the wicket was a wide, and straight away he realizes his rhythm today, on the particular day, is to bowl round the wicket, and now he changes ends and changes tactics, coming round the wicket to Janit as well.
Yeah, intent on control, not trying to give away too many runs. It's been a drastic change in the attitude that Mustafizur Rahman has bowled, realizing that maybe this wicket is not there for his cutters, right from the word go, deciding to come and bowl to the right-handed batters in particular around the wicket.
Projected score at the moment, same run rate, 275, 7 runs per over, 285. I think Sri Lanka will be unhappy if it's between about 285.
This wants a change in the field, wants the fine leg to go to the boundary. Taskin Ahmed going across. Get 5 outside the 30-yard circle in the last 10. And good delivery. You see, just slowed it down, but the length not quite there to go for an attacking stroke.
Trademark Mustafiz. When it comes to his slow ball, subtle wrist, just works it and really gives it a rip. Dismissed Janit Vinage in the last game, probably the wicket-taking game when it came to the situation. Slight breeze blowing across the field, probably the comfort level of the players quite somewhat reasonable comparing Colombo. Should be a couple of runs easy for Janit Vinage.
And that's the way to rebuild the innings. Now that you've lost one of the partners with whom you're going strong, got a new partner in, got to adjust to each other, read each other well, calling should be good. And suddenly with that fall of wicket, Bangladesh will be rejuvenated. Understandably, they'll do better with the ball. The fielders hopefully will have the spring in their steps, which they had early on in the innings. Maybe get another wicket quickly. Very late on that, as the ball is just dying away and also moving away from him.
Tanvir Islam has bowled out his 10 overs. Miraj has bowled 8. Shamim has bowled 2. That's 20 overs. Looks like Taskin as well as Tanzim along with Mustafiz have got to bowl out. Taskin got a couple of overs. Probably will keep it to the death overs. Tanzim Hassan Shaki probably will bowl from the other end now. And Mustafiz and Taskin probably will have to finish off. And to make sure fast bowlers just bowl than the spinners, because since 2 right-handers at the middle.
Yeah, in a little bit of an uncomfortable position there. You can see that nod in the head, acknowledging that slow delivery, but this has been good so far from Mustafizur Rahman. But lights coming on here.
That's one weak point of Janit Vinage. When it's straight down the line, he struggles initially to work it across towards leg side. Sometimes the head falls over. That's where I think the Bangladeshi side have done their homework, but not attacking outside the off stump and try and attacking middle or middle and less stumpish.
Waits on that one and then tuck away. Still quite a decent over. It's 231 for 4.
Sri Lanka well on track to get that number 275, but with 6 wickets in hand, yeah, you're eyeing more than 300, 290, 300. They'll be happy with that. It's been good here in Pallekele. Clear skies and the mountains in the background, the greenery. And now, the cricket also living up to expectations. It was a pressure game for Sri Lanka coming into this. They haven't lost a series here in a few years. The last 10, they've won 10 out of the last 12. Bangladesh have never won a series in Sri Lanka, and hence, at the back of the minds, that causes a bit of doubt, Roshan.
Yeah, that's right, Russell. But having said that, I think Sri Lanka will be disappointed if they don't get close to that 300 mark coming from here. 231 for 4. And also I feel that Janit Liyanage needs to be a little bit smart here. He needs to understand that Kusal Mendis is on a roll and needs to have the strike a little bit more.
Yeah, with just over 7 overs to go, you've got to get off strike. And you mentioned being smart from here on, but Sri Lanka have been very smart throughout this innings, especially Kusal Mendis. If I compare his innings, the quick 50 he made in the 2nd ODI to this, there haven't been any risks taken today. It's been controlled batting. Lots of singles, along with Srilanka. And I can't think of a chance that he's given. It's been that kind of day where the batters have controlled matters and got themselves a good platform to get that dominant score. Bangladesh, for their part, they haven't been clumsy either. They've been pretty disciplined and hung in there, trying to stay with Sri Lanka. Very good over from the captain, just the 2 singles, 233 for 4. The big partnership in power play 2 has made sure that the rate was healthy. The last 10 overs now, that's power play 3. Mind you, there's only 1 ball now. At 34th over, you decide and you pick 1 ball, which ends up being slightly softer, maybe more wear and tear. Could be harder to hit. Shameen's back. Oh, this could be tight. Now he's covered it well, Kusal Mendis. Yeah, so going back to how the two teams have played, 280, 290 has been chased down successfully, Roshan. On many occasions, sorry.
Yeah, and also let's not forget, this is a good surface, Russell, and Bangladesh will be telling themselves, now if they can bowl these last few overs with, shall we say, giving singles, not boundaries, they would have done well, because that's the whole idea. See, this is what happened 2 balls ago, and this was a good effort by the bowler, but still, you could see the desperation on the part of the Sri Lankan batters. They need those runs. They need to maintain the momentum.
Gee, he uses his body well. Kusal Mendis. All round the wicket, but why he's hard to bowl to is because the way he creates his length. And there are many shots that he plays. Oh, he's in it well. That's timed ever so well. It's about that back leg that he bends, transfers his weight, and a good length delivery He plays the short hand jab. Gets into that position, then the back leg drops. So he's now created a wonderful position to play the cross-pat shot. Not many of the other players use that back leg in such a manner. They're either pulling the front leg back or trying to get further up. So this is a length that I've seen him play so well, and look to different parts of the ground. Just because he manages that back leg so well. Now if he wants to go for a big one, he goes, takes the bat from down to up and carves it through. Really good, Johnny Tlenage. Put your head down. Get Mendis on strike. 241 for 4. Very good partnership between Srilanka and Kusal Mendis. I mentioned Bangladesh bowled well. Not getting anything, then Tuskin shows up and bowls a full toss and he gets a wicket. Bowl a few more loose ones and see where they go. Made Yasin Miraj his last over, he's bowled well. Now does Shamim need to bowl? That's my question. Looking at options available, Tuskin's got 2, Mustafizur has 2, Tanzim's got 4, so he can go to his main seamers after this over. I just got the impression, because Miraj got through that over for 2, maybe take the pace off from the other end, which didn't actually work. He's got his options there. I reckon go to Mustafizur and Tuskin to finish off.
Couple of runs here. He'll be happy with one. I think Mustafiz is a no-brainer. He needs to bowl there. Tuskin needs to bowl there as well.
Good to see Phil Simmons back. Not around for the second ODI. A routine medical checkup. Very important at our age. Make sure you're on top of things and pay attention to good health, your fitness. Completed that and he's back. He's got that in the gap. That'll skip away.
Yeah, welcome boundary. Welcome boundary for Sri Lanka. In fact, it took some time coming. First after 28 balls, but it was welcome. Bangladesh was doing well. Yeah, that's the one that he looks to undercut. Kusal Mendis, in any case, was aiming mid-wicket and gets the boundary.
Maybe he should have played the square cut for the undercut. There we go, the use of that back leg. It's a length that a lot of others just lunge at, that he's able to pick up. A couple of balls ago, he comes, he's not quite there. But he still goes with it. Must be seeing that ball like a football though out there for quite a while. It's been a very controlled innings. An innings that Sri Lanka needed. Especially when they find themselves under pressure. I also think, oh dear. Yes, he's gone. I would think he stepped on his stumps. Johnny Tlenage going deep in the crease. He doesn't wait for the umpire. He's walking off. He knows that he stepped on the stumps.
How unfortunate can that be? Just stepping on his stumps when the ball never challenged him. This goes quite deep. Just, I think it's his left leg looking to work it away on the onside. Yup, at that point, yes. The treads on the base.
Yeah, he looks back while trying to take off for the single. Johnny Tlenage 12 today, 249 for 5. 249 for 5. How unfortunate. Danny Cleanagate trying to work that into the gap. Here's Dunit Wellalage. I'm a bit surprised with Wellalage coming at this stage when you have one into Hasaranga and an ideal time to come in and plonk the ball. Jakarali has no idea what's happened here, but the sheepish look from Lianage, there you go, he knows, he stepped on it.
Yeah, I think he realized when he knocked on those stumps, he straight away knew. But last 5 overs, 30 legal deliveries. How much can Sri Lanka get? And still, they're persisting with Shamin.
So Roshan, that's the first time someone's been out hit wicket in Pallekele. The 7th time is Sri Lankan. Just got hit wicket. I think I remember Roy Dias. Probably was the first when his helmet fell onto the stumps. Right?
I watched that game, I remember. I think that was the tour Sri Lanka played their first test match.
John Lever, the bowler long years ago. Roshan, you were around, huh?
I was. And that was the time that Roy was not wearing that strap.
In the gap. That's so unlucky, but Shamin bowled that a lot quicker and hence flies away.
Well, the point you made about bowling him at this stage continues to baffle me a little bit. Now this is over number 46. We still got 2 overs left by Mustafis. That's the boundary in the cap. So at some stage, the skipper needs to bring him back.
His hand came off the bat as well, not in control at all. That's all he needs to do. Actually, it's Danny Cleanagate is the 8th Sri Lankan to be out wicket. Now, Roy Dias was that a one-day or a test match? Roy Dias in 1982 at the SSC. Oh dear. Shamin gets to it. He holds on. Well, what do you know, Roshan? Brady Hassan Miraj keeps him on, and they get Kusal Mendis at a vital time.
Outstanding catch, and yes, we know nothing. The captain seems to know everything here. And Kusal Mendis walks back, and Bangladesh makes the breakthrough at a very important stage. But you need to watch this catch because it was never easy. Believe me, with the ball falling over your shoulder as you run back, this is never easy. Brilliantly done.
Oh yes, he wanted it. He really did, and that's why he was able to get there. Crucial blow. Now this could be the difference between 300 and maybe even 280. Kusal Mendis has batted brilliantly. Really, really good knock from Sri Lanka's wicketkeeper. 124 of 114, 255 for 6. Hasaranga off the mark straight away. We're talking about school cricket and what SLC do, their development. Here's Hasaranga. That's where a lot of the Sri Lankan cricketers, or most actually, begin their careers, begin their foundation and learnings. 256 for 6. Well, again, Hasaranga new at the crease. The wicket delivery. Yes, he did something different. He flicks it out and it skids on to Kusal Mendis. Taskin Ahmed starts with a shorter one. Punit Wellalage for his cricketing foundation at St. Sebastian's College, Montpellier.
Well, that ball stayed down. It didn't arrive. This is a good catch. And bowlers seem to do different things with their grips and releases. Yeah, I think he had a good foundation, but he ended up in a good finishing school. And that's where he is with that finishing school. You need a good finishing school as much as you need a good foundation, Russell.
Standing ovation for Kusal Mendis. Since the fielding team decided on which ball they were going to use, that's at the end of the 34th over. The first 6 overs, Sri Lanka scored 40, so that's almost at 7 runs an over. But since the 40th over, when you're allowed that extra fielder outside the circle, Sri Lanka's rate has dropped to 5. And they've lost wickets as well. So it's become a lot harder. So as you go on, you're going to have to learn to face those passage of play differently. He wants to. That's good work. Real good work in the deep.
So you talk about the last 10 overs, you talk about set batters coming in, but this is a new phase in cricket. Now it's a new. The playing conditions have changed. It's a single ball and not balls used from either end. So it may take a little bit of time to assess how the ball that is being used is going to create an impact on the rate of scoring and wickets. So it's very early days at the moment.
21 balls remaining in the innings. Asalanka at the toss said he'll be happy with 280. Very good, really good from Taskin. Got to use whatever option you have available at this stage. Roshan, a question to you. Take out your thinking hat. Now Shamim got a wicket from the other end. You're going to give him the